Welcome to New York's #2 sports show. The New York Rangers have swept the 5-game road trip. The first time in Rangers history that they have done this. So, I wonder how many chances there were in their history to have a 5-game road sweep. In other words, how many 5-game road trips are there? Tough to say. Either way, very impressive. The fact they were able to do this. And tonight wasn't pretty. Some things aren't sustainable. Some things are. But the Rangers, another overtime win. They beat Winnipeg 3-2 in overtime. Mika Zibanejad gets the game-winning goal in overtime. And the birthday boy, Artemi Panarin, who turned 32 today, has just been really, really, really good. It's as good as I've seen him in a while. He, scored the first goal for the Rangers. He had the setup in overtime. It was a one-timer from Panarin to Zibanejad. So Panarin has just been through 9 games. He has a point in each of those 9 games. So I was wrong. I think I had said that Darren Turcotte had the Ranger record with an 11 to start a season. He has 11 games in a row with points. Turcotte, that is. Rod Gilbert, I believe, has the record at 14. So it's going to be a little bit tough for Panarin to get there. But hey, with the way he's playing, it's possible. And look, the Ranger power play has been a key. The Rangers' struggles to score offensively 5-on-5 are still very much there. That said, defensively, they've been really good. So, they're not really allowing too many big-time chances. I didn't think the Rangers played great tonight, but again, the Rangers' bad has not been all that bad. And Shesterkin, I think one of the goals you'd like to have back, but Igor was strong, especially in overtime. The Rangers had to kill off a penalty for most of that overtime, so Winnipeg had a 4-on-3. This was also the return of Blake Wheeler, so I'm sure that meant a lot to him. Blake Wheeler has a lot of records for that organization. He was there for over a decade, well over a decade. Like I said, dating back to their time with the Atlanta Thrashers. He was the captain for about 6 or 7 years. You could tell he was emotional, and I'm hoping, although I'm not optimistic at all, that he got this out of his system and now he can get going. I'm sure, like I said, I'm sure he was ready for this game. And hopefully from here, that's in the rear view. Because for Blake Wheeler, not a good night for him. Don't like what I've seen from him at all. So it's a lot of the things that I've been saying. The fourth line isn't good either. If you want to give it praise for its defense, I guess you can do that, but it's just very slow and it doesn't really have a lot of zone time. They're always in the defensive zone. So I keep on saying, hey, let's maybe give Pitlick a shot. I know you don't want to break it up with the winning streak, but Pitlick and even Johnny Brodzinski, just to give a little bit more speed, he, had a good camp, almost made the team. I think he's been doing pretty well at Hartford, just to kind of maybe give it a different look. I don't think that's going to happen, but I would suggest it. Also, another negative, just the kids, I want to see more from them, generally speaking. We can go, we're not going to do it. We could go one by one through each of them, but I want to see more because, it's been the star players that have really carried this team for the most part. With also, I would give them credit for, again, just good overall defensive play and a good system by Peter Laviolette. He is pushing a lot of the right buttons. So it's different factors, but I would like to see more from the younger players. Some have been better than others. But the Rangers now sit at 7-2. And, after a really, really poor performance home against Nashville, which feels like a while ago, they really did a great job. Now, these are not great teams, but hey, to get 10 of 10 points, that's never easy. And tonight I thought, all right, the streak might come to an end, or all right, maybe they'll just get a point, and they found a way. And I'm very curious to see, they'll be back home to take on the Carolina Hurricanes. That'll be a good test for many reasons. Carolina will be a very important divisional foe, but also the Rangers have this winning streak. They're coming back. That's a 2-week. Yeah, they've been gone for a while, right? I think it's 2 weeks. That Nashville game was there, I guess, probably. Yeah, the point is they've been away from home for a while. So sometimes it is tough for teams. Their first game back from a long trip, they got to get right into it. So that's going to be a challenging game and one in which I'll be very impressed. If they can come out of there with the win, That'll be impressive, but I know that they'll be up against it for that one. Carolina's been off to a slowish start. They won tonight at the Flyers. They're starting to get going, and we know that Carolina, when it's all said and done, this will be a team that will be towards the top of the Metropolitan Division. But as far as tonight's game goes, same lineup for the Rangers. Igor Shesterkin in again. And, first period, didn't think, it was even. It was even. Shots were 10 apiece, and really the shots throughout the game through the first 3 periods were the Rangers outshot them by 1. So we've seen a lot of that. Again, that's where the Rangers, when I feel like they're not playing bad, I look at the shot totals, and those can be misleading, and things are different this year in terms of just better on faceoffs. Shots against are really low. So there's just there's encouraging things that you see that just haven't really been there in recent years that I think are encouraging. So let's just jump ahead. Blake Wheeler gets a tribute video about halfway through the first period, and the fans gave him a big ovation. Late in the first, the Rangers take the lead, and it's a goal by Artemi Panarin, his 5th goal of the season from Trouba and Miller. A really nice play by Jacob Trouba, who is also a former Winnipeg Jet and was there for a while. Trouba, who normally, we're used to him taking the slap shot, and usually it goes wide or gets blocked, but instead it's a fake shot pass to Panarin, who puts it past Connor Hellebuck. So a really nice play there. And Jacob Trouba through 9 games, I haven't had many complaints about him, and he's someone that, I definitely have before, but so far so good. That pair's been pretty good. And Keandre Miller, he's been racking up the assists lately. Sometimes that can be fluky, but he's been doing it, and he had 2 assists tonight. And that was late in the period. That was 1 minute and 36 seconds left in the first. The Winnipeg Jets do tie it up with 28 seconds left. It's David Gustafsson, no relation to Eric. He scores his 2nd goal of the season, assisted by Perfetti. And this was a bad play by Blake Wheeler, who turns it over at the offensive blue line. He's trying to get back. Again, that goal is kind of on him. It just is. And it's not a goal that, that was frustrating in the sense that, all right, you take a 1-0 lead, you should take that into the intermission, but they don't. And so it's tied up at 1. We go to the second period. There was no scoring in the second, but there were a few penalties. Nino Niederreiter cross-checks Ryan Lindgren. The Rangers' power play does not score. Then at 3:40, Eric Gustafsson holds the stick of former Ranger Morgan Barron. And then the Rangers kill that off. And then at 16:30, another penalty by Gustafsson. It was a slash. And I think on one of these, Philip Hedl turned it over. I can't remember which one it was. It might have been the second one. But yeah, for Hedl, there's been a couple of really good games, right? He had that 3 assist game. I forget who that was against. Maybe it was against the Kraken. Not 100% sure there. But for Hedl, it's one thing not to have any goals, right? That's not good, but it's the other things that I'm not seeing. And, that line I still think is it's really because of Panarin. That still is your most threatening line offensively, but I think that Hedl will be the first to admit that it's been this, as good as the road trip was to the Rangers, didn't love what I saw from Hedl, especially recently. But the Rangers penalty kill does a really nice job, and that's been a key. The power play is getting more of the focus, as they should, but the penalty kill lately has been coming on as well. So it's tied up going into the third, and Winnipeg would score at 5:08 on a wraparound goal by Nikolai Ehlers, his 2nd goal of the season from Perfetti and Scheifele. And this was a really bad play by Braden Schneider. Braden Schneider turns it over at the offensive blue line. It's a bit of a theme, right? And then not only that, but his defensive coverage once it got back in the zone wasn't good either. This is one that Igor probably should stop. But at the same time, Schneider really looking poor there. And it raises the question, will we see Zach Jones? It won't be against Carolina. But maybe that Saturday game against the Wild in Minnesota, I'm wondering if that's a possibility for Zach Jones, but we'll see. Because, he's not someone that you want to just leave there. He's a young player, right? It's one thing for Tyler Pitlick to be sitting there, but Zach Jones, for better or worse, you like to get him in the lineup. So we'll see what happens there, but I digress. The Winnipeg Jets take a 2-1 lead. Then the Rangers get a power play at 8:35. Adam Lowry interferes with Mika Zibanejad, which reminds me, there was a glorious chance for Zibanejad earlier in the game where the puck is sitting actually on that Ranger power play. The Niederreiter penalty in the second. Zibanejad had a chance. It was sitting there, but he just couldn't quite get there / like force it home. So that was frustrating. I think some blame goes to him, but I guess you got to give credit to them preventing it. But either way, this Ranger power play here was not very good. But they do get another chance. Brandon Dillon boards Will Cooley at 12:41, and this time the Rangers cash in. And that power play has the Rangers have scored a power play goal in 8 of their 9 games. It is a very important part to this team. Rangers drawing penalties is like half the battle. If the Rangers aren't going to score goals, you got to get on the power play. And who scores it? It's Chris Kreider. He is so good at the tip-ins. His deflections in front of the net really are, very, very critical for this Ranger team. So it's a 6th goal of the season, assisted by Fox and Panarin. So Fox and Panarin racking up the assists. That's Fox 8th and Panarin's 9th, and Panarin wouldn't be done. But Kreider, do I want more offense, even strength from Kreider, from Zibanejad, and Kakko? Yes. But, Kreider certainly is providing value. That's his 4th power play goal of the season. And the Rangers tied up at 2. The Rangers at the end of the period, and this was a bad call. At 19:41, they call Ryan Lindgren for tripping Mason Appleton. He barely touched him. It was more Appleton fell on his own. So luckily this didn't cost the Rangers, but this could have been really bad. So the Rangers kill off the part of it in regulation. So we moved to overtime, and it's 4-on-3 for Winnipeg. But Igor Shesterkin came up pretty big here, and Igor, this wasn't a standout game for him. He was good. Nothing great, nothing bad. But Shesterkin made some nice saves in the penalty kill, but also the PKers did a good job too. Eventually it becomes 3-on-3 after a stoppage. And Winnipeg was definitely the better team in overtime. But you don't want the puck to be on Artemi Panarin's stick, and that's exactly what happens. And Panarin finds some room. And it's tough because, what does the defense do? Panarin, he has a shot opportunity, but he has Zibanejad there. And Panarin makes the pass to Mika. It's a one-timer, and he puts it past Hellebuck. I thought Hellebuck could have stopped it, but we do know that Mika, that is his thing, although it hasn't really been a thing this year. But Zibanejad wires it home, give Keandre Miller an assist as well, and the Rangers win it 3-2 in overtime to complete the road sweep. It's a 5-game winning streak. They're 5-0 on this road trip, and that's great. Artemi Panarin, a goal and 2 assists. He has been otherworldly. 5 goals and 10 assists for Artemi Panarin. So he was clearly in the offseason. He shaved his head. He was ready, and he's shown that, and he is playing at MVP levels right now. He really is. And that doesn't mean that I want to forget about what he's done in the playoffs, but I'm going to have to put that on the back burner. That's a different story, because right now it doesn't, I can't talk about that right now. Panarin, so I guess what I'm trying to say is, because Panarin's doing well right now, that is great, and that is a great sign, but it doesn't mean that, okay, that's it. He's good, from here on out, and we don't have to have any concerns about what happens in the playoffs, because I think that's a different animal. And, again, you don't have that time and space. It's a different game, but the way he's playing, it's not just the point totals, because we've seen Artemi Panarin put up points. That's never an issue. Even when he's playing poorly, 3 points Panarin. But he's actually really, the way he's doing it, he's shooting, he's passing at the right time, he's taking the puck to the middle of the ice, not just sitting back on the left side waiting for something to happen. He's taking action. And so Panarin's been unbelievable. Adam Fox, he's off to a really good start and, playing at a Norris level, but I know it's early. So Rangers beat Winnipeg 3-2 in overtime. They improved to 7-2, and now they will go home and take on a division foe in the Carolina Hurricanes. This has a pretty big game feel. This will feel, because again, the Rangers, think about it, they've basically played all of the Western Conference. All games have been against the West, except for a game at Buffalo, did the first game of the year, and then at Columbus, the second game. So this is the first one that really, I think, has a little bit more meaning. But with that being said, there is that possibility, and I'm sure Laviolette will try to have them ready to go, but there could be some rustiness, and there could be, I'm just concerned about the way that this is. They were on the road for a long time, and there was success on that. So if they are able to win this game and play well, to me, that is very encouraging just from a mental side, that they are able to say, hey, we're not going to feel too good about ourselves. We're going to just pretend as if we've been, losing. It doesn't matter that we've been on the road. We're coming home to face a Carolina team that's 6-4, and you know that you're going to be battling it out with them. So this is one that I will be definitely watching a little more crucially than I have the previous ones. But Rangers, a little bit of history. They complete the 5-game sweep on the road, the first time that they have done that in their long history. They defeat the Winnipeg Jets 3-2 in overtime.